Self-improvement was supposed to make you better. For a lot of people, it quietly did the opposite. It made them lazier. And the cruel part is, it made them feel productive the entire time it was happening. Here's the scene. It's 11:40 at night. Phone 6 inches from your face, and you're watching a video about how to wake up at 5 a.m. and win the morning. And it's good. It's genuinely good. Your chest fills up with this warm, clean certainty that tomorrow is the day everything changes. You save the video, maybe you buy the planner, you screenshot the routine, you fall asleep feeling like a slightly better person than you were 20 minutes ago. And then the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you turn it off and you sleep until 8:15 like always. Nothing changed, but something felt like it changed. And that feeling is the entire problem. Because you didn't improve, you consumed improvement. And your brain, which is not very smart about this, filed the consumption under done.
There's a real difference between doing the hard thing and studying the hard thing. Reading about push-ups is not push-ups. Watching a video about deep work is, ironically, the opposite of deep work. But your nervous system doesn't fully distinguish between them. Learning about a goal releases a little hit of the same satisfaction you'd get from progress toward it. Psychologists call this symbolic self-completion. When you can't complete the actual thing, you complete a symbol of it instead. You buy the running shoes. You tell 3 people you're writing a book. You reorganize your Notion, and your brain quietly checks the box, because the symbol scratched the itch the real work was supposed to scratch. And here's the number that should bother you. People who publicly announce a goal are measurably less likely to follow through than people who stay quiet. The announcement gives you the identity of a person doing the thing, and once you have the identity, the motivation to earn it drains out. You already got the reward. Why would you do the work now? I noticed this in myself about a year ago, and it was genuinely embarrassing. I had 11 productivity apps on my phone. 11. I had a color-coded system for my color-coded systems. And when I actually looked at what I'd shipped that year, it was almost nothing. I hadn't been building a life. I'd been building a very elaborate waiting room for a life. The apps weren't tools. They were the activity. Optimizing the system had quietly replaced using the system, and I couldn't see it because it all felt like effort. That's the trap nobody warns you about. Self-improvement gives you an infinite supply of productive feeling things to do that are not the thing. There is always another book, another framework, another morning routine to test, another app to migrate to, another course promising this one is different. And every single one of them lets you avoid the one uncomfortable action that would actually move you while feeling like you're moving. It's procrastination wearing a very convincing costume. It's the only kind of procrastination that comes with a certificate of completion.
The standard advice makes this worse, by the way. Just learn more. Read a book a week. Never stop growing. Growth sounds unarguable, but growth with no output isn't growth. It's hoarding. You're stacking information in a room you never actually walk into and calling the stacking a lifestyle. So let's name the 3 types of self-improvement that reliably make you lazier because they don't look the same from the inside. Type 1. Consumption disguised as preparation. You're going to start. You just need to research first. One more video, one more expert opinion. The book before the book. Preparation feels responsible, so you can do it forever with a totally clear conscience, and you'll never once feel like you're avoiding anything. You're not lazy, you're thorough. That's the story anyway. Type 2. Optimization disguised as progress. The system tweaking. You spend Saturday rebuilding your task manager instead of doing your tasks. You test a new note-taking method for the 4th time. The work of setting up the work becomes a permanent substitute for the work, and it's sneaky because it produces something. A cleaner dashboard, a tidier system, just not the thing the system was supposed to help you make. Type 3. Identity disguised as action. You call yourself disciplined, a lifelong learner, someone who's working on themselves, and the words feel so good that they start doing the job that behavior was supposed to do. You've said it so many times you feel like the person, and feeling like the person removes the pressure to act like them. The label pays out in advance, so the deadline never arrives. The fix for all 3 is the same, and it's almost annoyingly blunt. Output before input. You don't get to consume more until you've produced something with what you already have. You've watched enough. You've read enough. If you took every idea you already own and just did them, you'd be dangerous. The bottleneck was never information. You are not one video away. You've been fully equipped for years and using the equipment as decoration. Now here's where it gets stranger. Past any single app or book or unfinished course, the deepest reason self-improvement makes people lazier is that being a self-improvement person becomes an identity, and identities are extremely hard to challenge because they feel like facts about you. I'm always growing. I'm a work in progress. I'm on a journey. These sound humble. They're actually a defense mechanism. If you're permanently becoming, you never have to be. The journey has no finish line, which means there's no day you can be judged on results, which means you're safe. Forever preparing to live is a very comfortable way to avoid the risk of actually living and possibly failing at it. Nobody fails at a journey. That's the appeal. And what's really happening underneath is fear dressed up as discipline. The reason you keep researching instead of starting thing is that research can't fail. The moment you actually publish the thing, ship the thing, ask the person, apply for the job, you can be rejected. So you stay in the warm bath of preparation, where you feel like you're moving and nothing can hurt you. And you call it being serious about growth. It's not seriousness. It's a very sophisticated flinch.
Getting out of it doesn't take more inspiration. More inspiration is the drug. It takes evidence, stacked over time. You do one small, ugly rep of the real thing. You publish the bad first draft. You do the workout badly. You send the imperfect email, and it goes fine. That's one data point. You do it 10 times, and something starts to shift because you learn from your own behavior, not from watching someone else's. Watching a disciplined person feels like discipline for about an hour. Being slightly disciplined once actually rewires you a little. There are a few structural changes that hold this in place. First, a hard input-output ratio. For every hour you consume self-improvement, you owe an hour of producing something with it, and you pay the debt before you consume again. Most people are running a ratio of about 50-1 and wondering why nothing's happening. Second, pick one thing, one skill, one goal, one project, and starve the rest. The self-improvement world profits from your appetite for more, but improvement in reality is narrow and boring and repetitive. It's the same unglamorous rep 1,000 times. Third, a monthly output review. Not what you learned, what you made. If the made column is empty, the learned column was a hobby, not progress. And when you fall back into it, because you will, because a great new video will absolutely find you and light you up, the recovery move is not to feel guilty and buy another course to fix your course addiction. That's just the trap eating its own tail. The move is to notice you're consuming, close the tab, and do the smallest possible version of the actual thing right now. 5 minutes of the real work resets you faster than 5 hours of reading about the real work ever could.
There's one more tell worth watching for, and it lives on your someday list. You know the one. The skills you're going to learn, the habit you'll start once things calm down, the project you'll begin after you've read just a little more. That list feels like ambition, but look at it honestly, and it's a graveyard. It's every real action you talked yourself out of by promising to do it later, filed somewhere it can never embarrass you. A self-improvement person keeps a long someday list and calls it vision. Someone who's actually improving keeps a short today list and calls it Tuesday. Because here's the honest math underneath all of it. Every hour spent optimizing your life is an hour not spent living it. You polish the system, tune the routine, curate the perfect stack, and you tell yourself it's an investment. But an investment eventually pays out, and this one never does, because you never actually deploy the capital. You just keep counting it. You've built a beautiful, frictionless, color-coded machine for producing the feeling of a better life without the inconvenience of a better life. And the feeling is real, which is exactly why it's so hard to give up. So here's the whole thing stacked together. Consuming improvement is not improving. The reward comes from the symbol, so your brain stops chasing the real thing. Preparation, optimization, and identity are the 3 costumes procrastination wears when it wants to look impressive. Output comes before input, always. The way out isn't inspiration, it's ugly evidence stacked. And the version of you that finally gets somewhere is not the one with the best system, it's the one who closed the tab.
Honestly, you probably watched this whole thing feeling productive, like watching it counted as doing something. It didn't. And that's not an insult. That's the most useful sentence in the video. So I'd sit with it for a second before you scroll to the next one. And hey, if this hit a little too close, subscribe and hit that like button. And tell me in the comments which of the 3 types is most you. Be honest.